Cursed by the old gods in Bethany, we are 5 immortals doomed to walk the earth until we complete our 1001 tasks. Due to it being really noisy that night and some of us were straight up not listening, we are not sure what 1001 tasks we are supposed to accomplish. Luckily, we found these convenient books that will help us on our goal. After centuries of dicking around, we are ready to complete our destiny and die. We are, for now, the Immortals. And this is our second episode.
Second episode.
We made it.
1 down, 1,000 to go.
We're doing it.
I like that we're now at a nice round number. Like 1001
right?
has that extra 1 on top.
Sure.
I always hated that.
But then it's what's the? I can't even think of the word.
A palindrome? Where it's the same backwards as forwards?
Yeah, palindrome.
Oh, yeah.
Then it's a palindrome.
It's true. But 9.99 is too.
It is, and we'll get there soon enough.
It's
Hopefully.
true.
Like an hour from now.
Unless someone cheats and drops dead.
Well, so is the number 2.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
mind blown.
Is it? It's...
Yeah, it begins and ends with 2.
If we're getting more like a 0 2.
No.
Anywho, we should all introduce ourselves. As I mentioned, we are 5 immortals. We've been around for centuries, and we're now recording this podcast to kind of end it all. My name is Austin.
I'm Adam. I'm immortal number 2.
I'm Sarah. I'm immortal number 3.
I'm Lee. I didn't know we had numbers.
Neither did I.
Pick number 3.
I just wanted to call it because, Austin's obviously number 1.
Thanks, man.
Well, that's...
Was this up for
He
vote?
can have number 1. I'm paid, by the way. I'm number
honest.
5. 5 is okay, I suppose, but...
3's better.
3's...
3's cooler, I
better.
think. 5's a
Three's
prime
got
number,
best.
though. Well, so is
So-
2, and so is
Isn't
3.
3? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know much about numbers, but
So-
I know that's a...
Who's ever number 1 and number 4, they suck.
This is already our worst podcast. But,
Yeah, go us.
so every week, we are going to review various things from these 1001 blanks you must watch, read, eat before you die. We review the movies, albums, food, TV shows, books, and classical recordings. We each are assigned them, and we each are going to review them. And also, we rate them on a scale of 1 to 5 hinges. And we forgot to mention last time why we're rating them in terms of hinges. And I don't know why we're doing it out of hinges. Sarah, why hinges?
Well, because, I don't know about you, but I spent a lot of time back at Stonehenge in the day. And as time has gone on, there have been other better henges that have arisen around the United States that I'm a huge fan of, which I will tell you about in many future episodes. Maybe we'll do a henge of the week.
Or maybe just like one piece of trivia every time about a henge.
You could do that.
That is Sarah's.
First one, Stonehenge isn't a henge.
Well,
Stonehenge is not a henge, that's correct.
Ooh,
they thought they could be, but they dug the
First
ditch
one.
We did it.
the outside.
Yeah,
And they thought
got
they were
their-
special, but no.
They got their blueprints backwards.
Yeah.
Yup.
They fired that architect.
Yeah.
Should we talk about that Iranian movie?
Yes. Excellent transition, as always. So, this week we are doing all of the 883rd entries in all of our books, as the old gods assigned that to us. So that means our movie that we are reviewing this week is The White Balloon. This is a film from the 90s by Iranian director Jafar Bahani. I'll get it right eventually in this podcast. He is a very acclaimed director. He had great international... he won many awards. He was kind of seen as a very bright light in Iranian cinema, along with people like Abbas Kiarostami. And this was one of his acclaimed films. And The White Balloon. This is about a young girl, hours before New Year's, and she really wants to buy a goldfish.
By the way, the Iranian New Year's.
Yes.
We should
Yeah,
focus
Iranian
on-
New Year.
This happens all during the day. I was confused for a little bit.
I was too.
Did you guys look
Yeah.
up how that worked?
Yeah, I actually looked it
No.
up. So apparently the Iranian calendar is significantly more accurate than our calendar, so than the Gregorian
Oh.
calendar. So
Go
they
figure.
actually celebrate the New Year on the actual moment of the equinox. So rather than doing it just by day, the time of New Year's apparently changes every year, which is super cool.
That is really cool.
That is pretty cool.
Isn't
It
that
makes
awesome?
sense
Yeah.
because we were in the Dark Ages for a hell of a long time. But
Yeah, and they pretty much
Yeah.
were fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they carried us scientifically and mathematically for quite a while.
Yeah.
Smart guys.
So apparently goldfish is part of a New Year's custom, and this young girl is disappointed by her very thin selection of goldfish. So the movie is about her little quest to take her mom's money and to buy a goldfish. What did you guys think of the white balloon?
Oh, I liked it, but the girl was super annoying.
Okay,
Disagree.
I have to preface this with I hate children in general.
Oh, God.
Take it out, Lee.
There's a reason why I didn't pick children's books. But no, I could not stand that little girl, and I was hoping that she was just going to be like a side character, and then she will not just stop talking about this goddamn goldfish. Oh my god, I wanted to smack her.
So I think the movie becomes much more palatable, and the little girl does as well, when you come to the realization that Austin and I did, which is that little girl constantly has this like funny underbite that makes her look like Marlon Brando in The Godfather. And like once you start thinking of her as tiny Marlon Brando, like everything gets better. Everything. Because then she's like a tiny little mob boss.
Except she won't stop bitching about having skinny goldfish.
Yeah, and it's not like they're normal goldfish.
Well, we don't know why she wanted goldfish, really.
Well, because it's part of the tradition.
Well, yeah, it's part of the tradition, but like maybe she just wants. Yeah, I mean, their goldfish have to be the best because maybe that's all that she really has is just goldfish and a super cute dress.
So I took it as the goldfish as she's not living in like she has kind of a poor family, doesn't have a lot of things, and this is kind of her wanting to kind of have better life in many ways. And it's just this one goldfish who wants to actually have not a sickly looking goldfish. And it was her, parable triumphs to have a better, richer life.
But I feel like there's hints throughout the movie that that her goldfish and the goldfish in the store are exactly the same. And there's two that I picked up on. One is there's the really cool scene where she's got this goldfish bowl that is it's like a vase, and it goes in at the top, and she's given one of these beautiful fat goldfish, and she looks in it through the top, and it looks skinny. And then the guy says, no, you got to look at it from the side, and then, of course, the refraction on the bowl makes it look fatter. And there's that, and then I'm pretty sure, and I'm honestly not 100% on this, and I looked online to see if anyone had commented on it, and I didn't see it. There's a little boy at the very beginning of the movie who comes to scoop goldfish out of their pond.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that there's a scene, and Adam was pointing
Is that the same little kid?
That was definitely the same little
the
kid.
same kid goes and sells the goldfish to the store owner that she's buying the goldfish from. So, like, she's not making any progress. Like, it's literally she's buying the same goldfish that are in her pond.
Well, no, her goldfish, they were white and they were fluttery. They had more gills, or not gills, fins. There we go. They were very more majestic like that. And they were white, mostly, not orange, which, I mean, I took it, Austin's all metaphorical, it's about her life and so on. No, I just saw a little girl seeing a prettier thing than what she has, and she wanted that.
Yep.
Real bad. Like, she would not shut up about it.
Just would not stop.
Enough to where she nagged her mom, and her mom's like, here, take 20% of our family's savings, everything we have left, and buy yourself a fish. Not cool.
Well, no, it's kind of cool with what Sarah's talking about now about the perspective, where these goldfish might actually be just as good as the ones in her pond because you look at the wrong angle. In her quest to get this goldfish, she meets lots of people who are having an even worse time than her. I mean, she meets people who are homeless in the streets, soldiers who can't go home. This one guy, he's just very angry. He's a very angry man.
He was.
He was.
Yeah,
The guy with a small head.
Yeah. Very small.
No, that guy was cool. The shirt guy.
The shirt
Oh,
maker.
the shirt maker guy.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that guy who was very angry with the guy with the small head.
I see. Well, yeah, me too.
There was even a line in the movie. He just kept arguing so much that she's like, all right, I'm going to go back and see if my goldfish is still there.
Yep.
It was... I mean, not a bad movie. I actually liked it. But she was so annoying.
Okay, I would like to speak in her defense. I realize it's becoming a theme, but, like, I think she's great. She reminds me a lot of myself at age 7. Like, this little girl she's a little dumb, because she's 7, but she's pretty brave, alright? Like, I don't know, I have a deep-seated fear of snakes, which will probably come out multiple times as we talk more, because it's a very important part of my identity, but, I mean, this little girl is willing to basically go and face down these snake charmers to get her money back, and then, she enlists help to figure stuff out, and she's relatively brave as she walks around and talks to people. She knows what she's about. She knows what she wants. Like, I think she's great.
Especially as a 7-year-old girl in Iran.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think she's awesome.
Is she brave or is she dumb? Because she ends up talking to those strangers, even though she's told not to.
Right.
That's true.
Is she brave or is she dumb?
And there's a scene where the old lady's like, "Did you learn your lesson?" And
she's like, "Nope."
She's talking about all the reasons why she shouldn't do this, and right when she's about to be like, "Oh yeah, I learned my lesson," she's like, "Oh look, the guys again," or something.
Yeah.
She almost wants to talk to them again. She did not learn anything. Although I will give that she's definitely ballsy, resourceful. I don't know if she was that cool with the snake charmers because she didn't actually go up to the snake.
She wasn't even that resourceful. She just cried, and people came up to her and said, "Hey, what's wrong? Let me help you fix your reason why you're crying."
She knows how to be a little girl.
That's resourceful.
Yeah, that's the resource.
She
It's
did it.
That's
crying.
not resourceful.
Nailed it.
You gotta use what you have, Lee. Flaunt it if you got it. Cry forever if you don't want to ever die.
I think
I was trying to make that rhyme.
Nailed it, Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think people in general, apart from the little girl, are like the heroes of this movie. Because, like Austin said, everyone in this movie, almost everyone we meet, is in a worse situation than her. And they could have all just taken advantage of her, taken her money, all that sort of stuff. But in the end, everyone was actually good to her and tried to help her out. So I think like one of the big underlying things is, humanity in general, not bad. People are nice.
Well, it seemed kind of
And
mixed. Like,
everyone was nice to this little girl who the whole time was just a big dick who was crying all the time and complaining.
Well, I think it's kind of mixed on people how they responded to her. This is why I really was kind of wrapped up in the film, because it reminded me of an Alice in Wonderland-like thing, where wherever she went, the kind of rules of how the society worked changed a little bit. Like, she's just walking past the snake charmers just because they're literally crowding the entire street just to get past them. And then just by walking past, they take the money out of her jar, and now it's just a whole different thing. Like, I felt very anxious in that situation because, first of all, you're a kid, you're a young girl in Iran. We have to stand with these guys who are saying, "Look how generous you are." You get to be the one to try to take your money away from a homeless person. Like, it was this very like uncomfortable like thing they tricked her into, which felt very. I felt very uncomfortable by
I got
the
that
world shift.
too. When the guy actually took the money, but she didn't just go by and have to squeeze by these people. She literally tried to get in to see what was going on.
Yeah.
She went into that circle of her own accord.
Well, and she says it later. She says she wanted to see it, and then she regrets it.
Because her parents wouldn't let her.
After her first failed attempt, in the beginning of the movie.
But you have two snake charmers, and one of them is really mean to her, the one who just takes the money. And then you have another one who would like that money because he does need the money.
Yeah.
But at least it's like giving her a chance, but also taunting her with a chance to give it back. Like, it was a very kind of confusing thing of like, he almost wanted her to admit she failed and give up.
Well, and he ends that scene by saying, "No one should walk away from my show crying." This sort of feeling like, he sort of makes her part of his show.
Mm-hmm.
I think somewhere in the middle of the scene, he changes from deciding he's just going to steal her money to being like, "Oh no, like I'll make this like an entertaining thing for everybody and make this part of her show."
There's 20 people around who could still give money.
But the thing that I was reading a couple things online and just to synthesize some of what I saw, I mean, in terms of the class element that Austin was bringing up, I mean, the people watching the dervishes, the snake charmers, seem to be sort of the same social class as this little girl, and none of them help her. I mean, none of them step forward and be like, "Hey, you're stealing a little girl's money, and that's screwed up. Like, don't do that."
Yeah.
And it's really only when, the people that she's helped out by are people who are very much on the margins of society. I'll say my problem with the movie was that actually I thought its themes were pretty pat. It reminded me a little bit of like a short story you read in 7th grade. Like, here's the short story you go home with, and like this little girl and all the people that she like encounters, and the next day you said, and your English teacher says, "Well, this is really about class because of what was going on in Iran. Let's all learn." And I didn't get a lot of artistic depth, and I didn't get a lot of moral depth from what was going on. But that little girl is awesome, and I want to be her when I grow up.
Yeah. I think a lot of the hard edge that Austin was talking about with the two snake charmers, that was kind of prevalent in general. Everyone seems a little harsher and like
they're crunchy.
Very like either dismissive or they'll start making fun of you, that sort of thing. But then in the end they're like, "Oh no, don't worry, don't cry, little girl. Go back the way you came, everything will be fine." And I think that might just be a cultural thing. That's just how people are. in Iran, maybe? I'm not sure, but...
yeah, I haven't spent much time in Iran in the Middle East period, so I can't help you there, sorry.
But that sort of similarity, I think,
Never get around to
is more of a cultural thing, possibly, than maybe just that snake charmer being...
A jerk.
Yeah.
But I was always curious who was kind to her, because we had this this older woman who... I didn't think she was really from Iran. Did you guys get that feel? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I did.
You think she was Iranian?
I feel like she did not seem as Iranian. Maybe I'm being racist because she was paler and more blonde-haired. But
It could also be because she was older.
it could be, too. I don't know, but I didn't get a general Iranian feeling.
But you had an Afghan boy. We know he was Afghan. And he helped her out.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the story. I think I did like the girl more than you guys did. I really like genuine child performances. I like especially during like Charlie Brown cartoons, when you actually hire real kids and real kids speak in a specific way. It isn't just like reading a sentence. They pause awkwardly. They focus on weird things, and she had that all the time. Like the way she moved through the streets and the way she talked to people, screaming words you didn't think someone should ever scream, felt very genuine and real to this person. And her missing teeth actually made it even better. She was a very charming.
That was endearing, I'll give you that. But she was still annoying.
Well, she was definitely, like, spot on what I would imagine a 7-year-old annoying girl who really wants a goldfish to be like.
Yeah.
Like, she nailed it.
Yeah.
That's what the director said to her. Okay, I need you to be really annoying in this scene.
Get deep into your
scenes.
soul.
Yeah. I also really liked her brother.
Her brother's great.
Her brother was awesome.
Yeah, he was really cool. Like he went all around to help her. And what I think one of my favorite things when they made the deal in the beginning, he's like, okay, I'll see what I can do. In the end, he just goes up to mom and says, look at her, look at how sad she is without her goldfish. Can she please have her goldfish? And she's sitting there thinking, oh, he's trying to finagle something.
And it's really just him being a nice guy.
Yeah, him being the cute little older brother, the nice little older brother.
Adam, what do you think of the little girl? You haven't spoken up about this line in the sand that we have. Right?
Haven't I? Oh, I thought she was fine. There was one point when I was in my apartment and I was wondering if my neighbors were just hearing this really high-pitched, like, loud nonsense. Because I had this... Exactly. Yeah, except, a little less racist. But no.
Not a lot less racist.
Yeah, not a lot. But, I had the subtitles, so it was nice. But... I just think that she just really wanted the goldfish, and you have to do whatever you can to get it, and that just happened to be like relying on the kindness of strangers, even though they wouldn't really help too much, a lot of them. So no, I didn't. I wasn't turned off by her. Wasn't turned on by her.
Good.
She's 7.
She is 7.
She was very clear in her monologue.
Her shoes were super cool, though.
She had great shoes.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready to do ratings?
Wait, one question before we do the ratings. At the very end, there was a countdown, and then it sounded like a mortar went off.
Yeah, that was a little terrifying.
Is there...
Wait, the last
is this
scene
like
of the
a
movie?
specific date or something? Was there some sort of cultural significance there? Was like
No.
Tehran about to get bombed or something? We didn't know about it?
No, I don't think
That's
that was
like
a
a
bomb
firework.
sound. I think that was a firework.
Yeah.
That did not sound like a firework.
They do their fireworks really intensely in Iran.
Yeah.
It's
all or nothing.
It's a bomb, basically. They're like a really pretty bomb. But I was wondering if you guys had any thoughts on when she was talking to the soldier, and she said, "I'll tell you one of my dad's jobs, because the other one I'm not supposed to talk about."
Oh, he's definitely in like secret police or something horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought too. And I wonder if that.
What did you?
Oh, how she was like, oh, I'll tell you one of my dad's jobs.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
what
tell you
was
the
the
other
second one?
Well, we don't know, but kind of gets the feeling that he's some sort of like secret police government type.
Oh, yeah, I totally got that.
Either that or
Although,
like super black market.
that soldier guy, I thought was, like, super creepy.
He was a bit at first.
Really?
I was like, is he going to take your money?
No, he was, like, leering at her. He wasn't just like, oh, look at this little girl. He was, like, giving her weird looks.
The first time we see him was when she looks over. He's leaning up against a car, and that's right when a police siren is going off. And
Yeah.
I thought that he was actually the guy that was running away, because like as the siren is going by, he's looking at it, and then he looks back at her.
Yeah.
Think about that.
I definitely think his motivations are supposed to be unclear.
Yeah.
Like, we're not supposed to know whether he's a good guy or not. And I don't think the movie makes it clear.
Well, they hide a lot of things about his motivations about why he's not going back home.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, I suppose.
So,
All right.
you want the
Ready?
ratings tab?
Yeah.
So let's go around. Pedro and Lee, how many hinges do you guys give it?
I'll give it 4. It was a cute story. The little girl was exactly how a little girl was supposed to be, even though I think she was annoying. Definitely worth a watch. 4 hinges.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with 2.
Ooh.
2 hinges. 2 not great hinges. I just... It's not a movie I ever feel myself sitting down and watching again, and that's really how I rate my enjoyment of things. Like, I did not enjoy that movie at all. It was a trudge to work through. I actually, put it on double speed just so I could finish it. So...
Does that mean it would have been a 4 if you watched it at normal speed?
So you sped it up.
No, but it's not a 1 because I'm not going to actively go out of my way to tell people not to watch it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Other people enjoyed it, obviously. I just didn't.
Yeah, that's super kind of you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Adam, what do you think?
So there was that big explosion at the end, but I really would have wanted a lot more. Like if the girl had a gun or something,
Sure.
she would have it would have just been over a lot faster.
Sure.
So I'm gonna give it 3.
3 hinges.
3 out of 5 hinges
Because
because
of her lack of gun.
lack of explosions and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. As always.
Fascinating. Sarah?
I'm gonna go with 3 hinges. We gotta have hinge range here, people. Like, everything can't be 4 hinges. So I'm gonna try and go on a little lower. I was thinking 2, but I really like the little girl's performance. I really like all the performances in the movie. And I think if someone was like, I want to watch an Iranian film, what should I watch? I might point them this way.
I liked this movie, guys. I'll give it 4 hinges. I'm tempted to go 4.5 just to build the average up because they're all mean. But I thought that was a very well-made, well-paced film that I thought was very well done. I have never been a huge fan of Jafar Bahani's films kind of earlier in his career. This is probably my favorite one that I've seen so far. And the majority of people know about him now is that a couple of years ago, the Iranian government got very mad at him, and he's now on a 20-year filmmaking ban. And for a while, he's just under house arrest. That said, he's now made 3 films secretly while under this ban, starting with the incredible film called This Is Not a Film, that he just kept having his camcorder on in his house while he happened to have phone calls with his lawyer, or while he happened to have his buddy over, and he described what his next film was going to be like. Or, as he talked about parts of his case, just happened to have the camera on, and then edited them together, and then put it on a flash drive, then hid the flash drive in a cake, and smuggled it out of the country.
What kind of cake?
I have no idea.
It's pretty awesome.
But he's done that now a couple of times. They keep playing theaters. I just saw his new film, Taxi, a few days ago in theaters, where apparently now he has a job as a taxi driver, and he put cameras inside his taxi and made a movie that is the greatest fuck you to the Iranian government. It is a fascinatingly good film that's also dangerous, because he's saying everyone watching this film is smart except for the government, who's not going to get what I'm talking about. I respect the hell out of him, and I want to see more of his films. So I actually, this is not a film in Taxi more than The White Balloon, but I like The White Balloon quite a bit as well. So I'm going to get 4 hinges. Now, 4 is a number, and also 69 is a number.
Oh, yeah.
Both numbers.
Yes.
Either of them prime.
Does anyone know any other numbers?
883.
12.
Nope, I'm out. Sorry.
Pi.
Pi plus 1.
Pi in a bit?
Yeah, we got them all. So now, Lee, your album assignment was an album called 69 Love Songs.
Yes.
Why did you tell us about that right now?
Well, it's not a metaphor. There are actually 69 songs on this 3-volume album.
God.
Yeah, it's a lot to get through. So I started listening to this one day with my roommate, because even though I'm immortal doesn't mean I don't have bills. And we were listening to it, and I was like, man, I remember quite a bit of the 60s. I don't remember this album at all. Come to find out, didn't come out to the 90s. Makes sense then why I don't remember it from the 60s. But it has that feel. Like, my only note I really wrote down was, sounds like the guy from Animal House. Like that guy that we all know with the acoustic guitar who's just, like, singing these crappy songs.
Oh.
It just sounds like 69 songs of that.
Well, one of the songs is actually called Acoustic Guitar.
I'm not surprised then.
Well, it was kind of a funny song because this girl sang about this acoustic guitar going, like, you're not a very good person. Like, you're not a very attractive person, but your guitar is very attractive. Keep doing what you're doing only with that. That's kind of what the song's about.
Okay, so the band, The Magnetic Field, I believe, they said that, first off, originally the album was going to be 100 love songs, and then they were like, that's a lot of songs, let's just do 69, because 69 is funny. And so they did, and they're not all love songs, but they are all songs about love. So there's a couple that it's like, oh, this is definitely about, somebody breaking up or something like that. So I thought that was fun.
Can you explain the difference between love songs and songs about love?
Yeah, because songs about love aren't necessarily like, oh, we're awesome and everything's happy and wonderful. Like, songs about love are like Adele's latest single, Hello. That's a song about love.
I've not heard of it.
Not heard of it.
Oh, come on, guys.
Dude, I've heard it like 10 times, Lee. I'm on your page.
I heard it like 3 times today alone.
It's really good. We should do that one. We should talk about that one for the next...
Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't in a Bond movie, so I haven't heard that song.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But so I listened to all 3 volumes, and I actually really loved it a lot.
See, okay, there were a couple songs I really enjoyed, and I wrote them down. I really liked Reno, Dakota.
That one I love too.
That one was a good one. And then Washington, D.C. reminded me of a Bay City Rollers song mixed with the Cleveland song from 30 Rock.
That's very fair.
So, but I liked it because it reminded me of the Bay City Rollers Saturday Night song, because they sing Saturday a couple of times in it.
What did you like so much about Reno, Dakota?
I don't know, it was just fun. It was like less Animal House guy and more like actual good. No, that's not a good one. Just better. I liked it. It sounded more thought out. It had a better sound to it.
So listening to the whole album, all 3 volumes of it, I kind of took it as a wonderful parody of pop songs. Because I found it to be really, really funny, and it's actually easier for me to treat the whole thing as a comedy album than a music album.
Okay, see, that I feel like I would have enjoyed it more then, but I took this is a music album, and it definitely felt like the 1960s, late 1950s, like poppy love songs, like right at the beginning of the free love movement. It sounded a lot like that, so I kind of get that, and I guess if they were trying to do a parody, it would be funny, maybe.
And I thought it was like a bit of a parody, because like my favorite song was The Book of Love, and that song begins like, the Book of Love is very boring, and it describes about how boring it is for all the lyrics, but it sounds very sweet and like you can slow dance to. But it's him going like, "You keep reading it to me, but it's really boring. Lots of facts and figures in it." But also occasionally like, they would have like actual sweet things. But like there's so many like songs that like I think my favorite title was "I'm Crazy for You, but I'm Not That Crazy."
Yeah, that was a fun song. I enjoyed that, and I remember chuckling out loud to that one. But like, for the most part, I didn't find the humor in all of them.
There's another one I liked a lot that where you have this girl and she's like upset at her boyfriend and she's trying to get like a clear answer out of him. She just like basically keeps saying things like, "Do you hate me or do you love me?" And he keeps responding back with the chorus of like, "Yeah, oh yeah," to whatever she's saying. She keeps saying different contradictions, and he just keeps going, "Yeah," no matter what she says. I loved that one. And then also, I felt like the band just like gleefully lost its mind every once in a while.
Yes.
Which was, I thought, hilarious again, because like they had things like Punk Love and Love is Like Jazz that it's just like wonderfully bad versions of that style of music.
Yep.
I think like Love Is Like Jazz, and they have like lyrics like, sometimes it doesn't sound that good. And it's the worst piano in the background, just like someone's like slamming their keys.
Was that on the last volume? Was that on volume 3?
Jazz was in 2. 3 had the electric love experiment.
Yes,
That was
that
just
one.
a minute of just like gibberish and like noises.
Yeah, I definitely like tuned out for a good portion of volume 3. I'm not even gonna lie, but that one started playing again. I'm like, holy crap, what is happening right now?
And it ended like the very last song. So you've now gone through 69 songs. I think it's almost an album about madness more than about love, because like it's most people like just doing ridiculous things for the name of love. Like this very sweet song about San Francisco, but it's really about how I know you're in New York, but you should really fly over here and tuck me in. Like it's using kind of like cutesy things people say, but like seriously, come on over here, get in the plane. I miss you. Please tuck me in.
Washington, D.C. is all about, like, Washington, D.C. kind of sucks as a place, but I love it because you're there.
Yeah, and with, like, the most, like, and they sing, they spell it out through song, Washington, D.C., but they go so fast, I couldn't tell what city it was at first.
Yeah, it took me a while.
Which is delightfully unclear.
I mean, as a native of Washington, D.C., although I have not heard the album, Washington, D.C. does kind of suck as a place.
Are these all one song, or
no?
these different, like,
it's
different
one
cities?
album.
No, the different cities that you guys were just talking about.
Oh yeah, no, they have like
cities.
6 or 7 songs that are just about cities.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really like they were just kind of like, okay, we need another song topic. San Francisco.
What was your favorite city of all these?
Oh, the ones that I don't know.
Fremont, Dakota was.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But there's another one that almost had almost a series of songs about it, which is like, this guy keeps singing about how he only wants to be dancing right now. Like he goes, all I want to do is dance. But he sings it as if he's like brain dead. Like it's almost like a zombie singing, where like all he wants to do ever is dance right now. And then like that was that same kind of character returns in volume 2, where it's like telling his girlfriend like, no, we'll talk when we're old. We're just going to be dancing right now. All I want to do is dance. He goes, because we'll do sex and drugs in heaven. No, we're just going to dance now. That's all we want to do.
It's almost like they just got kind of obsessed about certain concepts. Like if you listen to artists with a really big catalog, you will sometimes pick up on like themes that they really, really love, or like just even words that they really, really love. The Decemberists have a couple that it's like, you've used this in like 6 different songs, and it's like something like Blunier or something like that. And it's like, yeah, okay, we get it.
I think those are the things that like people sing to me pop songs about.
Yeah.
In many ways. One of the funniest to me was The Night You Can't Remember, which is apparently about this girl who blacked out and accidentally got married to a rocketeer in Paris. That one amused me. But so ultimately, I think Lee, you didn't like as much as I did.
I did not. I thought it could definitely be like 10 to 15 love songs and be a really solid album.
And I think having there actually be 69 added to just the wonderful madness that was just a whole album of madness. Apparently they did like concerts where they did all the songs.
Yeah.
And I would actually totally go to that because there would just be a crowd of people all on the same really weird wavelength that they're going for.
Yeah, and it's 3 albums. It's definitely close to 3 hours long, this thing. And I just can't imagine sitting for one sitting of that.
It sounds hilarious to me. So how many hinges would you give it?
Oh, gosh. I sound really negative today. I'm going to say 2. Again, I didn't enjoy it. I'm sure there are some people who did, like you, Austin, because you seem to love everything. But, I'm not going to actively
I like
my way to not recommend it to people.
And I'm going to give it 4.5. I really loved it. I'm keeping the whole thing on my phone.
Maybe I need to listen to it again, and this time, as a comedy album.
The lyrics, it's a very subtle thing they're doing, but, almost all the lyrics are people just, losing their mind in a slight way. Or, there's, one song, truly about, someone, murdering someone. It's very silly.
Wait, were you just calling Lee dumb?
No.
It's a very subtle thing.
Because they
tuned out a couple times.
They record it to be very authentic. And
it's very repetitive, I felt with just the sound of it. it's hard to differentiate songs, I feel. Except, like, there's a couple that definitely stick out, but most of the time it's just kind of monotonous to me.
I gotcha. Well, let's move on to now the food we have this week. The 883rd food in this book of 1001 Foods Must Eat Before You Die.
Yeah, is Amaretto di Saronno, which are these awesome little Italian cookies, and the Chicago folk will be able to partake in them. I have actually...
These run off the rocks?
Let's say they're wrapped in plastic, so we're going to be opening these for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, they're wrapped in paper, and apparently the unwrapping process is supposed to be like as satisfying as the eating of the cookies. They're always wrapped this way. So, I mean, I've already had them, but the boys have not, so...
Okay, here we go.
I'm going to get as close to the microphone while I'm chewing this.
Very crunchy.
That's not gross, right?
No.
Oh, those sound delightfully crunchy.
They're really good. So, if you've ever had amaretto liqueur of any kind, that is, I mean, that's made out of these cookies. So, literally, they taste the same. I love them.
Amaretto is made out of the cookies.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's the same flavoring, at least, which, as far as I could tell from the internet and from the book, is apricot kernels. Is the actual flavor.
Huh.
It tastes like nutty amaretto-y stuff. I don't know. It tastes like amaretto. For me, like, because I've had the liqueur, it just has a flavor that is this flavor.
They're like an inch wide.
Yeah, they're small. They're they're about an inch wide. They're little discs, and they come in these groups of 2 wrapped in paper.
It looks like a hamburger bun.
It does kind of look like a hamburger bun. It's got little,
almost like a Play-Doh version.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is like a fake little Play-Doh hamburger.
And the fake sesame seeds are actually little bits of sugar. You're supposed to eat these with coffee or tea. That's like they're crunchy, almost like a biscotti is, because you're supposed to dip them in tea. I have had them dipped in tea, and they are very good.
Very Italian.
Yeah, I love them. I think they're awesome. They are really strongly flavored, though. If you are not a fan of the flavor of the nutty flavor of amaretto, these are not for you. But I love them.
These are not for me.
Oh, they're so tasty.
That flavor that she's talking about is very strong. Like you can actually smell it from a couple inches away.
Oh yeah.
And the second you take a bite, it hits you hard. I actually turns out I hate that flavor. So these cookies are, I would say, respectfully, disgusting.
They're wonderful.
Adam, what do you think?
I'm in the middle of the road. I like it, but I'm probably not going to search these out ever again.
Well, we have a lot right now in the house. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can buy these things on Amazon if you care, or at your local Italian, specialty food store. But if you buy them on Amazon, fair warning, they will come in a giant tin, which we bought, and now we have 100 of these cookies, which is great because I like them and Austin hates them, so I'm going to eat all of them.
You know what? I want to put some vanilla ice cream in between 2 of them.
That's not bad.
Like a hamburger.
Yeah, they definitely need. I mean, I love them, but they're meant to be eaten with another strongly flavored food. I mean, coffee being the obvious one. Something to cut the very sweet, strong flavor of the cookie. Well, yeah, henge-wise, I'm going 4.5. I love these things.
I'm going to go 2 hinges.
Okay. 2?
Wow, so that's low for you.
Well, I'm going to say the exact middle, which would be 3.25?
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, Pedro, with the assist. 3.25. Could have used some more explosions in those cookies as well.
Sounded like a lot from here.
These rummy bears are delicious. So.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are just eating gummy bears soaked in rum.
Yeah.
Kinda.
They're super tasty.
Good choice. Yeah.
Very cool. Are they actually from Saronno?
I couldn't figure that out. I think so.
I went to a Chicago place called Italy, and the guy who's helped me find them, they were actually out. They had a section for them, but they were all out at the moment. But he was saying, that actually is, they were originated from Saronno.
There you go.
So, I don't know. I like them. I don't know why this is something that you just have to eat. You know?
Like why it's on the list.
Yeah, why it's on the list.
Oh, I think you're awesome.
Maybe you're supposed to have some coffee or tea with it. You guys just aren't eating it right.
I will say, they are great with coffee or tea.
It's possible.
Adam is drinking alcoholic root beer with them, which I think is maybe not their...
Well, I don't know. What do you think, Adam?
I can really just taste the root beer, and that's it. It's kind of overpowering. But it does make for a crunchy root beer experience.
Well, there you go.
That is the worst phrase of the podcast so far. All right, so what's up next? We have the TV show of this week. They entered an 83rd TV show they must watch before you die. Is the documentary series Human Planet that aired on the BBC. And it is an 8-episode documentary series that looks around different parts of the globe with the thesis that humankind is the only animal on the planet to survive in every environment. So it looks at the following places to see what miraculous things they have to do in order to survive in these places. And the episodes are oceans, deserts, Arctic jungles, mountains, grasslands, rivers, and then cities. And I've seen this before years ago when it kind of first came out, but I was a bit more torn this time because I think Oceans, the first episode, is the worst episode because unlike when you watch like a nature documentary with the different animals like doing what they do literally by nature, this one was mixed where you have certain villages who are near the ocean who will do these things because that's what they have to do to survive. Like the entire village worked together to bring down one whale so the village could eat for like a couple months. And that was, well, the whole show is beautiful. But that was such an amazing like feat of like everyone working together to accomplish this goal of these humans with their spears taking down an entire whale. But then you had the very first segment, which was 2 guys who are going on this cliffside to get these obscure mushrooms because they're seen as a delicacy.
They're not mushrooms; they're barnacles.
Barnacles. I apologize.
Cool.
That so they risked their lives over and over again, according to narrator John Hurt. They almost died with this other wave, and after the end of this heroic thing, they go, "Yeah, we made about 800 euros today." And I was thinking, or we could not eat these things and call them delicacies and not risk our lives. So it became a thing of like sometimes people did it because they had to survive. Sometimes people did it just because like society's warped and
you're gonna feel really dumb when those barnacles are on the list.
Oh god, I feel so guilty because these 2 idiots almost died like 15 times trying to get them. But so I was conflicted when you watch humans not actually have to do the things they're doing. Like they shouldn't have to do that. But sometimes it was incredible. Sarah, I know you watched it.
The episode was super annoying.
Oh, did you watch that one?
No, but I just imagine it's an entire episode of you don't need to do that to survive, and yet you are.
Well, the cities one was actually the weirdest episode because it was more about how nature was fighting back. It's like saying we built these areas almost to get away from nature itself. This is like our area, and you almost can't fully keep away nature. So the funniest part was, I believe it was in Canada, this one city that just still has an insane amount of wild elk walking around, and tourists think they're tame. So there's all these clips of the elk attacking the people.
Wait, why did I not watch? I watched a lot of these, but I did not watch that one. That sounds awesome.
But then you had like very nice things, like the one thing I actually have been to, which was in Austin, Texas. There's this bridge that has an insane number of bats under it, and like for most of the year, when the sun goes down, bats just fill the night sky. And it's beautiful, and the city loves it. They are now protected animals. It's actually a big tourist thing. I've done it, where you sit on the grass and you kind of wait till it comes out, and then all of a sudden, hundreds of bats fly out and fill the sky. So that's a good example of like how nature and humans coexist in a very peculiar way. But Sarah, you saw a handful of the episodes.
Yeah, right? I saw I think 5 of them. And I have opinions. I'm not gonna lie. So the problem I really had with this series, the obvious reference point is Planet Earth. I mean, that's what they're going for. Same production team, you know, and it is like the more I watched it, and it was up and down with the different segments, but more it feels like old National Geographic, not the good National Geographic that's like going on now, where you mostly do, like, cool photography, like, old school, like, let's ogle at the native peoples, National Geographic. I mean, there's something really fundamental. I mean, a lot of times when I was watching it and I was talking about it with Austin, he was saying, well, this is, about certain filming techniques, this is what a nature documentary looks like. And it's like, yeah, but it's about people. And a lot of the segments were definitely filmed, I thought, with that eye of, let's look at what these weird primitive people do.
Like voyeuristic?
Yeah, well, and more than voyeuristic, it was also just, I mean, frankly, there were times when it verged into, and I think this was partially because of the unfortunate parallel it draws with Planet Earth, because it's such a clear connection, is looking at people like animals. I mean, that it was very much like, let's watch these people eat their weird spiders, or, build this thing or hunt in this way, and it didn't. The segments I liked the best, there were some really awesome segments that were about culture. I mean, there's a really cool segment about I think it was in the Jungles one. It was about a huge, maybe it was the Deserts one, I'm sorry, I can't remember. A huge gathering of multiple tribes into a really cool matriarchal dating.
That was the deserts.
That was the deserts, yeah. So basically all of these, when there's enough water, which happens once every 5 years, and everyone actually has time to get out of survival mode, basically, all of the tribes come together for what basically amounts to a dating, meat market. I mean, but it's all, it's interesting because it's matriarchal, so all of the women actually choose the dates. So it's this interesting...
Well, it got even weirder than that because
super weird.
All marriages went on pause.
Yeah. So all marriages go open marriage, apparently, for this 3-day period once every 5 years.
Mistakenly?
It's like Vegas?
A bit, because it really was, you had, with the segment this year, with whatever year they filmed it, 3 women were deciding which of these guys, and they were blunt about it, this isn't a date, they're going to sleep with these guys. And the way they determine which guy is the most attractive is by how well their makeup is, how well their dancing skills are.
It's a dancing and singing competition.
Their wardrobe is. So you have 3 women who fully get to decide, and these guys who are in a very American Idol kind of way, very desperate to kind of go I really hope I win because I want to get laid. So it's them really making sure they step right to the beat and whatnot. And,
and I really loved those segments because they involved a lot of interviews with the actual people involved who were aware of the cameras and what was going on and were showing off their culture rather than a lot of the segments where, I mean, there was even there's on the Blu-ray, there's these sort of these making of little vignettes
as part of the episode.
As part of the episode, and I only watched one of them, but one of them talked about, for example, how they were having trouble because the little kids in this village in Thailand basically kept looking at the camera, and to me, I was like, although I understand that in a documentary sometimes you don't want your subjects to look at the camera, it was very indicative of, I think, the whole feel of the show that I was much more interested in well, here are these little kids and they've never seen a camera before. They're, we're dealing with a cool collision of worlds. Let's talk about that. And instead, we were doing sort of a voyeurism. It wasn't all like that, don't get me wrong, and it's a beautiful, beautiful show, but I mostly had problems with it. It was my final takeaway, is I mostly had problems with it.
And I mostly liked it, but there was, I would say, maybe of the 8 episodes, there was 3 or maybe 4 that I thought actually had, all good segments all the way through. But ones the oceans and the mountains segment, half of them, these people don't have to be doing this. And the way you're displaying it is kind of a little bit of judgment of yep, they made $800 this day and almost died 5 times. Or these guys who go into an active volcano and almost get poisoned to death in order to get a sulfur mine.
Oh, that one sucked, because that was definitely a bunch of guys who were doing this job because there was no other job that paid as well, and it paid them $5 a day, which is super depressing.
Yeah.
And the making of shot where all of the photographers were in gas masks, I did have this moment of, I was really, guys, really, we're really gonna go and wear gas masks, and and the thing, I guess, there could have been more of a humanitarian edge to it than there was.
I think so, but I think ultimately it had a lot of such beautiful images and beautiful interactions with nature that I've never seen before. Like this one tribe in the jungles episode, probably my favorite episode. You watch these guys. It's a very weird episode. You think it'd be very like anti-nature because they have a frog held by its legs, so they can get the certain poison from the frog to get onto their spear, and then you watch them hunt down a monkey. For a few minutes. It's kind of amazing because their blow-darts are so quiet. They can do many attacks at it before the monkey even knows anything's happening. Then they kill the monkey for food. But then the tribe loves monkeys so much that whenever they kill a parent, they adopt all the baby monkeys. Aww. So the village is filled with baby monkeys. And they truly, they talk about in interviews, they love them. They go like, we'll never ever eat pets. That's not kind of what we do. And this was one of 2 examples in the series where women also breastfeed these animals. That's how much they care about them.
It's so cute.
So I enjoyed those kind of like, how do we deal with nature in this way? So ultimately, I liked it. It has flaws, but it's worth seeing. I would give it 4 hinges.
And I'll give it 1.5. I have a problem with it. Like, it's not so much that like I don't think it's beautiful or I don't think that like there's artistic merit to it, but like I have a problem with the show and I have trouble supporting it for that reason. So that's where I am.
Well, you can watch it on Netflix.
Yes, you can. You can do that.
For anyone who wants to see a terrible or really good show, it's on Netflix.
You can find out. So now let's move on to our children's book of this week. Adam, what did you read?
Okay, before I say anything, I think I need to make it clear that I am an adult man. And I have been for a while. My whole life, except for a little part of it. So I read the book Hey Dollface by Deborah Hotzig, which is about 2 teenage girls. One is the main character. It's written in kind of a diary style. She's just moved to a new... okay, so I'm just going to say this part, and we'll see if you guys can guess where this book is going. It's about a girl who just moves into a new school of all girls.
Lesbians?
Lesbians.
Yeah, lesbians!
Alright. So, I mean, there's more subtlety to it than that.
Is there?
I mean, yeah, there is. There totally is.
There's lines in the book that say, I think I might be gay.
Yes. But the answer is, I don't know. You know?
Sexuality is fluid! Exactly.
I think that was actually kind of the point. Anyway, to back up a little bit, she moves into this new school and makes friends with, like, there are basically 2 factions in the school: the really preppy rich kids who do what their parents say, and the rich kids who don't do what their parents say and smoke and drink on the side. And then there's this one girl that she meets that they become really fast friends, and they talk about girl stuff. Like, I don't understand.
Like what?
No, I'm kidding. No, like...
So I also read this book.
Mm-hmm.
Adam and I are the wrong people to review this book.
Yeah,
But
that's
we're gonna
another
try
thing
our
that we
best.
should... That's another thing we should say, is that this book was absolutely not written for me or Austin, or maybe any of us. I think it's written specifically for 10 to 15-year-old girls.
But it was a very curious book. Because, well, I'll let you keep going.
So she's a sophomore in high school. So that would make her like 15, 16, maybe 17. And she was just not very tuned in to the world. The book was written in 1978, so that has a lot to do with it. But just when she was asking her mom about... She was trying to dance around the subject, but she was asking her mom about homosexuality, and her mom was just like, oh, I don't know. And she was like... And the girl was like, well, is it wrong? And the mom says, bye.
And so there were a lot of conversations with her mom talking about sexuality, and I actually kind of found all those scenes to be very flat. Like, it felt to me like there's almost no conflict in this book. There's very little actually happening in this book. But I think the reason why it's still remembered nowadays is because it was kind of one of the first books to talk about these issues, especially in a young adult forum. But those scenes with the mom felt very disingenuous. It's almost like as if these are the answers you wish your mom would have said at this time, instead of what the mom's probably actually said.
Yeah. It's possible she would have had a more firm stance one way or the other.
And I feel like that for a lot of characters, because you had them discuss issues because they're very confused about their bodies, and they're confused about homosexuality and heterosexuality. Also grief. Grief's also a huge part of this book.
Yeah, huge body count in this book.
Yeah, a lot of people die.
For real?
Yeah, no, this is a very short book.
Okay.
No, it was 2 people, but there were like 10 main characters total, so...
That is a lot.
And 2, main characters die?
No.
Well, I mean,
one.
They both deal with grief at different times.
Yeah.
It was strange. Like, it always felt like... I never felt that everyone was a very full character. It almost felt like this book to have these conversations, and here's a book of these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't feel true that these characters would always say these things or think these things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember at one point, the main girl, her name's Valerie, right?
Yes.
Like,
Valerie and Chloe.
Valerie and Chloe.
Chloe's kind of like a manic pixie dream girl.
A little bit.
Little bit.
But you have Valerie, and at one point they're discussing, like, I think they're confused about what an orgasm is.
Yes, they've never had
Aren't
one.
we all?
Were we?
I'm not.
Actually,
we?
yeah.
We?
Wait, it's just me?
Oh,
Wait.
sorry, honey.
We need to start a new podcast.
Springboard from here. They were both looking it up in a dictionary.
And they're going for the theories and what, like, their sister, Chloe's sister said. But then it ended with Valerie saying, I guess we're just too young to know these things. And, I've been around for centuries now. I can't think of a time when I was ever mature enough to go, oh, I'm probably just not old enough for this yet. I always felt like, especially when I was a very young kid, I always just had the ego thinking like, oh, I'm probably right about this. Even though it was definitely wrong. It felt like a lot of that. Like, I always didn't really fully believe their age. That they kind of, like, settled on things too quickly. About, like, they settled on ambiguity more than I feel a lot of kids do.
That's fair, yeah. But I think that was kind of part of the point of the book, was that you can't always rely on the advice or the knowledge of other people. You just kind of have to figure things out for yourself in a lot of cases. Not every case, but I think that was part of the point of the book, was that ambiguity exists, and because of that, growing up is hard.
It's true, and I thought it handled... Most of the conversations are about sexuality and their bodies and kind of their self-esteem and whatnot. I thought they handled grief really awkwardly. Like, the first chapter, so many things happened so quickly, like mid-paragraph, that I thought the writing style was all over the place.
Yeah.
And I was really hoping it slowed down, and it did. But, like, whenever it handled someone getting sick, it would, like, be announced and they would die in the same paragraph. It was kind of a crazy way to do it, especially since it's not a very long book. So the writing style bothered me.
Yeah. Well, it was Ms. Hotzig's first novel.
Okay.
She went on to write several more, including the Little Witch series.
Oh!
Yeah.
I totally know what that is.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was like one of those like early readers books. It was like what you were supposed to read in like second grade if you were.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I know.
Yeah.
That's a big jump.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I think she was still in like a school for girls when she wrote this. So.
Oh.
But then why is the conversation between the girls so awkward?
Well,
was she a teenager when she wrote this?
She was still a student at Sarah Lawrence College.
So Sarah Lawrence was
at
the time. At the time, now Sarah Lawrence is co-ed, but at the time it was probably still single sex. in 78.
Oh, that is even more confusing. I just assumed this was an adult. Like it felt
Yeah,
like
that's
adult writing teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
See, I mean, okay,
That's curious.
I have not read the book, but I am a graduate of an all-girls high school. Yeah, the whole, like, this, I don't know, the whole, are we lesbians? I don't really know, is a fundamental part of, I think, most, like, all-girls educational experiences. Not for every girl, but, I definitely feel like now I should read this, because maybe I would have some insight.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like, are we just friends, or it's like, I like you a lot.
Well, and it had that for a lot of things, and I was worried it was going to be this kind of book, because I just, like, seen this in a movie, like, 5 times recently, where she was at the age where she is now having these feelings for the first time, and just wants some sort of, like, not recognition, but, like, attention about them. Like, she wants to feel pretty in someone's eyes, and at first, it was almost this 45-year-old guy, and, like, every red flag was going off, like please don't read this kind of book. I don't want, like, this story.
Right.
This keeps happening in movies lately.
Yeah.
But
and then there was a weird part where she was like, I kind of felt that when my dad hugged me, and I was
Yes.
like, don't. Stop. Stop, please.
that was part of the book.
God, stop.
So we went from 45-year-old
Yeah.
you're babysitting for to the dad to yeah, sure, let's go with Chloe. Let's just go with Chloe. Absolutely.
And this is all in one paragraph.
And then everyone dies.
So I think I would recommend this for a kid growing up, I guess, but it's not particularly entertaining if you've already figured out that being homosexual is totally fine, and if you are, it's cool.
Well, it has historical value. For like this is
Historical
a YA book in 1978 talking about these things.
Yeah.
And that's important. But because of the strange lack of conflict,
Mm-hmm. It was kind of just like I moved to a new school, and that was a springboard for her to talk about just different facets of life, and so in that way it was fine.
So how many hinges would you give it?
Like 2.5.
I'll go 2 hinges.
Yeah.
The writing style threw me off more than anything else.
Yeah, but again, bear in mind, I am a grown male.
Yeah, we are 2 straight males reviewing this young Jewish coming of age lesbian story.
So take that rating with a big giant grain of salt.
Yeah.
Well, now you're supposed to be doing children's books. Do these have like ratings? How young are you supposed to be to read something like this?
This is the the book, The 1001 Choice Books Before You Die, is separating into different age ranges, and since today's number is 883, this is near the back of the book, and this is in the 12 plus range.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say 12 plus is exactly the right age for this like type of reading level and everything.
Yeah, I think probably if you had caught me when I was in like 7th or 8th grade, up through
centuries ago,
junior year of my guess is, if memory serves, that would have been the time to get me. But I would have been like, no, reading's dumb.
Also, the Black Plague is happening. This is not my focus right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now let's end our episode with some beautiful music. Pedro, what classical recording did you listen to for this week's podcast?
I listened to the 24 Preludes and Fugues by Dmitri Shostakovich. So, for those who don't know, it's a set of 24 preludes and 24 fugues, 1 prelude and 1 fugue each for every key, major and minor. They're set up, actually this blew my mind when I first learned it. Every key you have, like a C major, has exactly the same notes as an A minor.
Yeah.
What? When I first learned that, I could just like shift it down and it would be a whole new scale in minor. That was cool. Anyway, so that's the progression. You have a prelude and a fugue in one key, and then in a major key, and then a prelude and a fugue in the relative minor. And then it goes by fifths. It jumps by fifths and it goes through all 24 possible arrangements of either a major or minor key. And I rather like these types of things. Apparently it's a fairly common thing when you have 24 X's, X or Y's, for musicians, because they will create something in each of these keys, both major and minor, and they will also progress in the same fifth structure. And usually there will be things like preludes, and Fugues or etudes or short, bite-sized little pieces. And this is all piano. It's just a pianist playing each of these little things, and they range from, some of them are as short as a minute long, and some of them are 7 minutes. And I like them because there's so many to listen to. You don't have to like them all, but almost certainly you will find a handful that you really like. And they're just fun little things to listen to over and over again. And what's great about these are... So Shostakovich was an interesting man. He lived during the Soviet Union, and he was actually one of their big star composers, like government commissioned, funded composer guys. And he would write, these grand fanfares and stuff for the glorious motherland. And also at the same time, he would write a lot of very dark, emotional pieces, and you can tell that he, as a human, as a composer, is suffering from just how can I express myself when I'm both being watched over and expected to produce these great things to boost morale for Mother Russia, and also still be able to express myself naturally the way I should. And actually, in fact, some of the great, grand, jolly pieces, apparently, I've heard, there are a bunch of little musical knickknacks inside where, actually, if you know what you're looking for, he's actually making fun of the whole establishment in Soviet Russia, where Stalin's listening to it, and he's like, oh, this is lovely and great, and go us. But this is definitely more of the latter. There are two Shostakoviches, I guess you could say, the happy and the sad. This is more of the... You definitely hear a lot of the sad coming out. Some jolly, but a lot of the sad.
So this is his emo kid phase?
Kind of. Again, since there are so many pieces, and a lot of them come in major keys, a lot in minor keys, there are a bunch of sort of happy parts, but a lot of these pieces are more lower emotional type things, and then every once in a while you'll hear a little bit of happy flair come up. Like, I had some examples written down, but there's too many to...
So I listened to this as well. I didn't get to finish all of them. I heard about 14 of them. And I do not know how to articulate any thoughts about music, especially classical music.
We'll learn together.
I did a lot of, I recognize there were very happy tunes. There was a playfulness about how quickly the piano keys were moving, and kind of these lighter things. I found it to be very charming. And then, of course, it often slowed down the moments. But I really did. I thought I was very impressed by the peppiness of certain sections.
One that I starred and circled and everything was Prelude 15 in...
Of course, I was so close.
Oh, so close. You almost made it. I think it's D flat major. That's also another thing I'm confused. I'm not sure what differentiates a D flat major from whatever. Anyway,
D flat is C sharp, right? And
yeah. So when do you call it a D flat versus a C sharp?
Well, if it's in major, the convention is usually to use sharps.
That's what I thought.
Sharps in major and flats in minors.
That's what I thought, but I'm pretty sure my recording said D flat.
D flat major?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not incorrect. It's just sort of unusual.
It's the
15, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because I wrote down, because I was actually going through and counting and calculating out what each of the things should be and numbering them so that I knew where I was, because my recording, it has the super long full title, so I can't really see which one I'm listening to at the time. So I was counting up, and I wrote C sharp, and then it finally came up D flat. I was like, oh, okay, so I changed it. Maybe that's one of his little bipolar things. He was sad, so he wrote, "Screw you guys, this is flat." But yeah, it starts out very happy. It starts out like "We Wish You a Merry Christmas," the same 3 or 4 notes opening. So I was like, wait, what is? Oh, okay, and then it keeps going, and it's very dancey, and I was really happy listening to it. But the one that I have in my mind the most, which I've been singing to myself over and over again, is, I think, in E minor. And it's a really, more sad, intense tone.
Well, sing it for us.
Bum ba dum bum 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 ba dum bum bum bum, something like that.
I believe you.
Yes, and actually, one of the interesting things, because when I started listening to this, I listened with both the artist that the book recommends, or that the book refers to, which is Vladimir Ashkenazy, and also with the woman who premiered this, Tatiana, long Russian name that starts with an N, Nikolayo something, whatever.
That's the one that I listened to.
Yeah, I actually liked hers better because she seemed to have more emotion. She plays a bit slower, but there's definitely more of a emphasis in each of the notes that she plays, I feel like. Whereas Ashkenazi is a little more fluid, kind of a little more clean, like pristine, not so much fluctuation. Also, the recordings might be different, because I think, the recordings are obviously different, but it feels like when he was recorded, he was in a hall with a lot of reverb, perhaps, whereas her recording, the mic may have been closer to the piano, that sort of thing. But, like...
Yeah, hers definitely sound really controlled, like it was in a studio or something.
The second or fourth piece, depending on what you're listening to, sometimes they'll group together the fugue and the prelude as one piece in that key. So you'll just hear Prelude and Fugue number 1 as one unit, or sometimes you'll hear them as 2 units, the prelude and the fugue. But either way, the one in A minor is the one with a bunch of runs. It goes all over the place. And when she plays it, you hear each and every note. Like, she plays a lot more staccato type notes, whereas when he plays it, it's almost like he's hitting the sustain pedal and just zipping through it all, and it's just really wavy. And they're both cool. Online, I found a lot of feuds between people, between different performers, and obviously a lot of people like Tatiana, because the music was made for her. Shostakovich heard her playing in a competition, I think it was, and said, I'm going to write you 24 Preludes and Fugues, and you're going to premiere them for me. So I think she definitely has maybe the more original thought. Of course, it's music. No one can be wrong.
So do you prefer her, it seems like?
I think so. The thing is, with something like this, where there's so many pieces, this is really something like in high school when I would listen to stuff like this. You listen to this for like maybe a month straight, just over and over again with a bunch of different people, and you start to, when you actually get to learn the nuances of each and every one of the different pieces, you can sort of pick apart and see and appreciate really what different musicians will do, and where some will take more creative license, I guess you would say, than others. But just from the get-go, I think I liked hers better because it gave you more of a, I am listening to this piece more instead of I'm listening to a piano piece, or a set of piano pieces, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Yes.
Now, Lee, did you say you listened to it as well?
I did. I actually did listen to this.
All of it?
Yeah, I listened
Nice.
to it. I just put it on at work because, again, just because you're immortal doesn't mean you're not broke.
Yep.
So
We
now
all have jobs. Don't worry about it.
We all have jobs.
Yeah.
I didn't for a while, but different story.
Anyway, yeah. I was listening to it at work, and I'm not a huge classical music fan. So that's one preface. Second preface: my favorite classical artists are like Chopin and Mozart because it's lots of fun, or like lots of easy to listen to.
Someday we're going to get to his 24 etudes, and they're going to be interesting for you.
Okay, I believe you.
Was that a threat?
So I listened
Yes.
to this, and like,
The etudes are coming.
so I was listening to this, and I was like, I have no idea what's going on. And there were some times, which I'm sure they had some sort of musical significance, kind of just sounded like someone banging on a piano.
Oh, definitely. I wrote one of them. That was it. Fugue number 19 in E flat major. It was one of the examples. After a while, I had to start writing them down because I was forgetting everything. So I actually forgot everything from the beginning. So most of these come
So wait,
toward the end.
the parts I listened to, you forgot all of those.
Well, yeah, they're earlier on, and I didn't take too many notes. But yeah, it's one of those where like it's just really, not only is it like dissonant, but like really notes all over the place. And I feel like a lot of that is sort of him putting his confusion down into the music because, again, he had a sort of tumultuous dichotomy between his works and what he was supposed to do. And on one hand, he represented Russia, and on the other, he was this wonderful musician that wanted to just get his feeling at. And I could see that as being one of the reasons why he just has some of these pieces where it really does sound like they're banging on.
Okay, I'm glad
keys.
it's not just me and my.
I'm not a pianist, so I probably don't have all of this down. But some of these I could not discern a melody, for example.
Okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one there.
But that being said, actually, there were a lot of recurrences, and I definitely need to go back through this again. I think there is a main theme or melody that keeps coming back.
It did kind of all sound similar because I wasn't super paying attention to it because, again, I was at work doing other things.
Mm-hmm.
So I just had it on the background, and there were a couple of times where it's didn't I hear this already? And it's 2.5 hours long, so.
There were definitely a couple of resurgences of some themes.
Yeah.
That theme that I really liked from the E minor one, for example. I think it's Prelude number 5. Prelude or Fugue number 5. Definitely give it a listen.
So Pedro, as a whole, for the entire as the whole 24 Preludes and Fugues, how many hinges do you give it?
Well, see, that's tough because I want to give it a 4 because it's definitely fun to listen to. You can play it off in the background, for example, and then when a good piece you like comes up, you can remember that and then listen to it over and over again. But if I had to listen to the whole 24, 48 pieces straight, not maybe a 4. I'll give it a 3.8 hinges.
Jesus Christ.
It's good. I feel like a 3 doesn't do it credit, but a 4 might be overdoing it. So,
Lee, how many hinges would you give it?
I'd give it a 3 because again, I like the lighter, easier to listen to classical music. Whereas this is not easy. This is something for people who do enjoy finding the nuances. So I'd give it a 3.
Or people that want to feel sad. Some of these are
they're really depressing.
Some of them are, yeah.
I haven't finished it yet. I'll finish it tonight, I promise. But what I've heard so far, I liked it, but I also have no articulation, so I'll go 3.5, I guess.
Were there any explosions in it?
Kind of. If he slammed on the keys sometimes.
I'll give it 4 then.
Okay.
Yeah. It's or sometimes explosions of flavor. Prelude number 16 was great. It starts out very sad, and then it kind of evolves, and it actually made me feel like I was watching a movie montage where the kid is trying to do something to help save his sick mother or something like that. Where there's the overall theme is sad, and the reason why he's doing things is sad, but he's trying, and it's kind of hopeful, and then oh no, and then kind of hopeful again, then oh no. It's I don't know.
You went through a
lot of fun
during this.
What?
Never mind.
Okay.
That wraps up another episode. At the end of the last episode, we got pretty lucky in that the rather elusive and rather annoying and rather, dare I say, awful old gods that interrupt our podcast and give us
intern. What the hell?
What?
Intern. The old god intern.
There was the old gods who were there, and they
said they weren't there. They sent their intern.
They were annoying, and they gave us the next episode number. I think we just pick our own because that would be really frustrating. God damn it! Adam's eyes are black again.
Guys, you can't pick your own number. That's not how this works.
It's our own podcast.
Yeah, no, it's not. You're doing our podcast, and we're just making you do it.
What? No, we thought of this idea.
Heed me.
What?
I said heed me.
What does that mean?
I don't know. We're trying it out. Experimental.
I vote no.
Okay, great. Well, okay. The point is, you can't pick, but I have a message for you, and I just wanted to say that the gods say you're on a track. We're not going to say if it's the right track.
Hey.
Oh, come on.
At least you're on a track.
You're on a track.
All right.
So,
Derail.
we have decided through mysterious ways and means and coins flipping that your next number is...
You didn't explode anything. That was just your voice.
Yes. Look, I'm just the intern. I don't have explosion powers yet, but I'm working on it.
There's so many old gods. Why can't one of them come over here?
I'm just taking a course.
Because we're not that important, Austin.
I didn't say it. Okay, your next number is 710.
110.
Wait.
Oh, man.
Is he still...
Oh, wait.
Is he gone?
Adam, you okay?
God damn it.
I have this, weird metallic taste in my mouth. It tastes like I just ate pea gravel.
That's a really specific...
That's a problem.
Yeah, so what was the number?
The number that... by the way, you're possessed again.
Shoot.
The number he said was 710. So according to these goddamn heavy books...
Oh, man.
we got here. Everyone, look up what you got here. I'll look up the movie first. The movie we're doing is... Oh, this is good. Paris, Texas.
There's no Paris in Texas.
Yes, there is.
Well,
You just have to watch the movie and find out.
There's a city named Paris in Texas. Lee, what album do you have? Do you look it up yet?
I have... Oh, God damn it. I hope this isn't another realistic thing. 3 years, 5 months, and 2 days in the life of Arrested Development by, shockingly enough, Arrested Development.
Well, let's hope it's not 3 years long.
I hope not.
Adam, what is your 710th book in your...
My book is the classic Philip Reeve, Mortal Engines by Philip Reeve.
That's not at all.
I didn't say that right. It's Mortal Engines by Philip Reeve.
Got it.
Cool.
Pedro, did you look up yours yet?
Yeah, hold on. I have... Ooh, The Miraculous Mandarin by Bela Bartok. That's pretty cool. Okay.
Sarah, what food do you have?
I have a spice blend called Punch Foron, which I'm pretty stoked about.
And my TV show, it's a good one, is Help. It just says Help.
By
Seems
the
like
Beatles?
No,
I need somebody.
it's another British show, and I will watch it.
Cool.
Yeah.
But that's what we will be doing next week. Next Thursday, in fact, we will be reviewing all of these things. So we discuss all the 710th things in our 1001 stuff we have to do before we die. Thank you all for joining us. You can email us whenever you want to interact with us or just question our ability to critique things at theimmortalspodcast@gmail.com. Or you can follow us on Twitter at theimmortalspod, where we'll be tweeting different things we liked from the stuff we've been reviewing, and also just tweeting in general. And please give us a good review on iTunes. That helps people find our show, and thank you so much for doing that, and subscribe. My name is Austin.
I'm Adam.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Lee.
And I'm Pedro.
And we are live for another week. Join us next week. Thank you. Goodbye.
Reno, Dakota, there's not an iota of kindness in you. You know you enthrall me, and yet you don't call me. It's making me blue. Pantone 292.